Hey guys, welcome back to the channel with more Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is, well, it says part 2, episode 1, but it's also episode 14. And I was originally going to take a break between part 1 and part 2 because I wanted to let the first part sink in, and I also wanted to give myself some more breathing room just to have more time to edit things and stuff like that. And that felt like a good place to do it. But yeah, end of episode 13 was a cliffhanger, and I kind of wanted some resolution, so we'll watch this, and hopefully it'll wrap up this story arc, and I'll probably take a week break after that if it does. But yeah, last time, Greed was introduced. Really interesting. He seems to be completely separate from the other sins, seems to be acting on his own, or with another group of people, but like, on his, like, he's not with the other sins at the moment. And at the very end, Izumi came in and busted the door down, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting fight. Curious to learn more about these sins and why they seem to be able to, well, why they seem invincible, for that matter. But yeah, I'm excited to continue. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. And let's get started. Prove him wrong.
The Fuhrer is away.
Where is he?
Conducting an inspection at Southern HQ.
Huh.
Something doesn't smell right to me.
Is he
You know what
here?
it feels like to me? Old times.
What an interesting discovery for such a routine inspection.
No.
A housewife and a hot-headed brat. What a team.
Same
Well, to be
pose.
honest, it's not
It's
one
cute.
I'm particularly interested in fighting. I'll just be on my way now.
What? You coward! How pathetic. You okay? Teacher! Just hang on!
We need to figure a way out of here.
I can't let you do that.
Just what do you want, old man?
It's the Fuhrer. Why is he here?
Damn, those muscles.
Bradley.
He's got 4 swords on his
I
back.
got an idea. Retire.
I mean, he can just grow back, but
Well,
wow.
look at this. The old man's got some moves.
He can't stand up to arm. Oh, maybe you can. Oh my god.
Behold! You have just had the rare pleasure of witnessing the famous Armstrong statuary technique.
Statue. Oh, doink.
Well then.
He's gonna strip too. Right, they're chimeras. Ooh. Ooh. Damn.
Now eliminate every last one of these freaks.
Jeez.
Those are the Fuhrer's direct orders. Major!
Whoa. Oh. Well, I grew back quickly.
I understand why you think you have an advantage over a man like me, since I possess neither your impenetrable ultimate shield nor an ultimate spear that can pierce any substance.
What?
I have the protection of your ultimate shield, but I clearly see your weakness with my ultimate eye.
Damn.
How many times am I going to have to kill you before you stay dead?
No, Greed! Quiet! Let me out! Come on, damn it! No way! I said open up! I can't, he'll kill you!
That makes 15 times you've died now.
Do us a favor, kid, and get her out of here.
Hey! Quit trying to stop me! Let me out! I can't! I don't have time to argue! Now open up! Just shut up! I need out of here! me sit here and watch my friends get killed, are you? They asked me to protect you. Please, I'm begging you. I'm sorry. I can't.
You grow more pathetic by the second.
Jeez.
Now you stay put. I'll be right back.
No, don't.
Run.
Run, Al.
Not so fast. Can I help you at all?
Sure. I mean, no, I'm fine. Thanks, but I'm alright.
No, don't.
Mortal! Don't do this! Die, Bradley!
That brought back memories? He took his entire body.
Al! Wake up! Al! Say something! Al!
Brother?
What kind of trauma? To have someone die while they're inside you?
Did you happen to trade any manner of information with him?
None at all.
Let me be more specific.
Put the guns
You
down.
arranged a deal or shared any knowledge with him, and I'll execute both of you right now. I am curious about your steel arm and leg and your brother's armor body. Is there any connection between the two? You really are an honest kid.
I appreciate everything you've done for the Elric brothers.
Oh no, it's nothing at all. It's simply one of the many duties of the military to protect our state alchemists. But what about you? I'm sure you could use a little extra protection.
You mean as a state alchemist?
Why, yes, exactly.
You're asking a bedridden housewife to join the military? You can't be serious. Is the country really in so much trouble that you'd need the help of someone like me?
There's no need to be harsh. I'll keep my fingers crossed that when I do return, perhaps you'll have had a change of heart.
Remember the guys I told you and Colonel Hughes about?
Colonel Hughes,
You're gonna tell him now?
listen, Edward Elric.
He wants you
Do
to
not
drop it.
do anything rash.
And don't tell anybody about the Orbos tattoo.
They're back. All the memories of when my body was taken away. I remember.
What'd you see?
Well, it was definitely weird.
How does he have 4 arms?
Unfortunately,
Why'd the Fuhrer slaughter everyone? If he was trying to figure out what they're up to, why didn't he catch them and make them talk?
yeah, good point.
He didn't want them
it
to
also
talk.
seems a little weird that the Fuhrer himself would lead an attack against such a small group.
Smart boys.
Been warned.
It seems both Fullmetal's younger brother and their teacher are worthy candidates for human sacrifice. Oh, and one
Goddamn
other
it.
thing. I made an unexpected catch.
Talk about a blast from the past. It's been a century since I've seen that face.
The gang's all here.
Looks like your
All?
ultimate shield let you down after all.
Maybe, but you never do, Lust the Lascivious. Feel free to pierce me with your ultimate spear anytime you want. Hello, Gluttony the Voracious. Still haven't found the right diet for you yet, huh? And where is Sloth the Indolent these days?
I'm sure
Sloth.
he'd love to be here slacking off, but we have to keep him working.
I am Wrath the Furious.
Fuhrer, King Bradley, and Wrath, one and the same.
Indeed. The humans know him as the leader of Amestris. But the truth is that he was created by Father for the final stage of the plan.
A homunculus that can grow older? That's impossible.
You are both my son, and you are a piece of my soul. So why would you betray your loving father?
Is that Hohenheim?
If I were to ask you to return and work for me again,
Never.
as you wish.
Damn.
Talk about cheesy. Why don't you come on in, kids? The water's fine! Nice and hot, just like the flames in hell.
Return to my depths and rejoin my soul. Return, greed.
If that's what you want, Dad! Just don't blame me when I give you a stomachache! You did it to yourself!
I don't know. Same facial structure, same hair, same beard as Hohenheim, but
Welcome home, Father. I'm so glad you're back.
he has an actual kid.
And it's good to be back, Salim. Oh, Salim, you'll never guess who I ran into down south. The Fullmetal Alchemist.
You saw the little alchemist? Can I meet him sometime, Father?
The little
You
alchemist.
sure do like to hear about Edward, don't you, Salim?
Well, he is the youngest state alchemist ever, right? That's so cool. I mean, he's not much older than me. And if he can learn alchemy at his age, then maybe I can too. And then I could help Father.
You never know, Salim. Maybe you will help me out someday.
What is as a sacrifice? Alright guys, mind-blowing episode. Really fun. Those of you who have been watching past episodes know I was suspicious of Bradley on some level, but not to the extent of thinking he was a homunculus. I thought he might have been working with the Sins in some manner. I thought he might have just benefited from what the Sins were doing, and so he let it go. But turns out he's freaking Wrath, and he kills Greed so many times. I think he said 15, and then he killed him one more time the last time he was going to bring him in. He says he has the ultimate eye to see Greed's weaknesses. Greed, meanwhile, has an ultimate shield. Bradley also mentioned an ultimate spear, and then later on, Greed was like, you can pierce me with your spear any day. Her fingers, or nails, or whatever they are super powerful, and I don't know what other ultimate things there are. I don't know if Envy has like ultimate shapeshifting or whatever. It's just shapeshifting essentially. Gluttony has ultimate jaw strength. I don't even know. Sloth, ultimate superhuman strength. It looked like he was like freaking jacked as heck. I'm guessing Pride has the ultimate sneer of condescension. But yeah, Bradley coming into the Devil's Nest for an extermination. He slaughtered Roa and Dolcetto. I don't know how to... Dolcetto. The way he killed Martel while she was inside Al. I mean, even though they got the body out before he woke up, that has to be traumatizing on some level. And the very touching of her blood on his reawakens his memories. That's really interesting. Al saw everything Ed and his teacher, Izumi, did. But nothing was all that different from Ed's experience other than like losing his entire body. I don't know that he got any extra knowledge than, like, I don't know if he had more knowledge imparted onto him than they did, even though he lost his entire body. And I'm not sure if he hasn't tried to perform alchemy yet, so I don't know if he's capable of doing it without a transmutation circle. And I've mentioned before, that thing, the universe, God, the one, whatever it is that has that creepy smile, he seems way more sinister than my image of God or universe or the one should be. I still have my doubts about what it is, that thing. Ooh. But yeah, right before Ed woke him up, Al saw his brother as the thing they tried to transmute, as their mother, or the thing they attempted to revive their mother. So he saw his own arm like sticking out. So his soul was in there. And that was the trauma that wiped his memory, is what I'm guessing. I'm curious what happened with Izumi's son or daughter, child. There was no soul taken. It was her organs that were taken. So I don't know if there was a soul inside the child, or something else. I don't know. But yeah, I'm very curious if what's her name? Martel. I wrote it down somewhere. Martel. Yeah, I'm curious if Martel's blood spattering on him has any effect on Al, like long term. Like the blood seal was already done, but like does covering it up do anything? Like blood is notoriously difficult to clean, though I'm not sure if that's different for like metal surfaces. But what if some of her leftover blood like dries on top of his blood seal? I mean, the binding of the soul to the armor was already done and no further alchemy was used, but it'd be really interesting if like a bit of her consciousness resided in Al's body. I don't think, like, following the rules of this show, I don't think it'll happen, but I thought it'd be interesting. But yeah, Bradley, like we were just introduced to Greed, and he seemed like this badass that only Izumi and Ed would be able to do damage to them, because everybody else would need like transmutation circle to change him, but they can do it. They can hurt him, and like there's not a lot of people who can stand up to Greed. And just as we see how powerful he is, he's taken down like he's nothing by Wrath, by freaking Bradley. And the father takes him, like burns him in, drinks his essence, reabsorbs Greed into his own body. Does that mean there needs to be a new Greed, or is he just done? I'm just wondering out loud, don't actually want answers in the comments. And we also caught a glimpse of Sloth, so yeah, we've seen everybody except for Pride at this point. And I don't really have any theories as to who it is yet. I think it's possible that it's someone we've already met. But yeah, homunculi are supposedly created and not born, and they're super powerful. And I'm not sure if there's anybody out there who already fits that description. Somebody super powerful and somebody... Because, like, I'm not sure how Bradley was created either, because was he created as a baby and he grew all the way into a 60-year-old man? It's really interesting. But yeah, we'll touch more on that later. We have Bradley offering Izumi the chance to become a state alchemist. I don't know if that raises any red flags on her end. She was just like, why would you want a sick old house lady, bedridden house lady, to be... Are you that desperate? She's playing it kind of humble, but she knows how good she is, right? And Bradley told the other Sins and Father that she, along with the boys, will make good human sacrifices. So I have to imagine he just wants to keep her close and involved so that he has easy access to her. And with the good human sacrifices thing, the only thing that really ties them together are the fact that they're very good alchemists and the fact that they've seen the truth. And I also wondered if Lust and Gluttony attacked Scar to stop his attack on other state alchemists to preserve viable human sacrifices, but they've never actually mentioned, they've never actually confirmed, I don't think, that they would be good sacrifices. But yeah, Major Armstrong had an opportunity to tell Ed and Al about Hughes, but didn't, and I feel like it's going to become something much bigger later on. Honestly, the boys, if I was the boys, I'd probably lash out because people kept the truth from me for so long. I feel like the brothers will feel like people shouldn't have kept secrets from them, and that Ross and Brosh said something about how not all adults are their enemies, and now it's gonna feel like they are. I don't see them doing anything drastic, but they'll be pissed, and quite justifiably too, I think. But yeah, Ed is pretty intuitive, questioning the thought process of the Fuhrer. If the Fuhrer wanted to know more about what was going on, he would have captured people. He wouldn't have slaughtered them all. So, yeah, they're catching on still a little bit. They're a little suspicious. And I feel like them and Roy are going to work together at some point to uncover more. That'll be fun to watch. The father, though. The father looks exactly like Hohenheim. And, yeah, So Hohenheim has been around long enough to bring these homunculi to life. And Greed said he hadn't seen the others for at least 100 years. So that means Hohenheim has some sort of... So the Philosopher's Stone is kind of similar to the Philosopher's Stone in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, where it can keep you alive longer. Is that possible? And yeah, he's had this thing going on for a very long time. So if it is indeed Hohenheim, he looks exactly the same except for his beard is like his facial hair is like a different color. Why settle down and have kids then? Like, did he fall in love and abandon his journey, only to feel drawn to it once again? Is it a Guardians of the Galaxy situation where the powerful father kills the mother so that he can force himself to leave? Did he decide to be with her just to have kids to be human sacrifices? They also mentioned that it was a sickness that killed the mother. So is he capable of spreading a sickness like that as an alchemist? I have to imagine it's possible, especially as an alchemist who has had 100+ years of training, studying, researching. And he referred to greed as both a son and a part of his soul. So does that mean like he's separating out the sins from his own body for some reason? I mean, to shed yourself of sin, would that make you a saint? Or can that desire to shed worldly desires signify something more nefarious? A lot of questions. But maybe getting rid of his sins changed who he was. Maybe making 7 sins and getting rid of them was what made him want to be with Ed and Al's mom, wanting to live a normal life. And he had to drink the greed to get him back in, so I don't know. A lot of questions, really interesting. Reabsorbing greed back into his soul. We don't see a Philosopher's Stone, which I theorized that Greed had a Philosopher's Stone like in his body because that's how he was able to grow back his head and limbs without any... you can defy the laws of alchemy when you have a Philosopher's Stone, so that's what I thought there might be one. And there's also like the red sparks. But we didn't see a Philosopher's Stone unless what Father Drunk was a Philosopher's Stone, or it was I don't know. Anyway, maybe it got burnt up in the lava, or maybe homunculus work in a different way. Homunculi work in a different way. I'm assuming homunculi is the plural form of homunculus. And, right, we were talking about Wrath as a homunculus who can age, meaning can he die from old age at some point? Or does the Philosopher's Stone keep that from happening? And we also saw the Fuhrer Bradley with freaking muscles. So many muscles. And it also means that Father has gotten better at making homunculi over the years. Wrath is still rather new. Greed didn't recognize him. And Father created a homunculi who was able to impregnate a woman and have her give birth to a child. So does the child have like homunculi genes inside of them? So many questions. His name is Salim, though. He seems like he's very interested in the Fullmetal Alchemist and seems like a pretty normal kid. And just how hidden is Bradley's life from his wife and kid, though? And Salim wants to be a state alchemist so he can help his father. And Bradley, like, freaking ominously says, "You never know, Salim. Maybe you will help me one day." A wink, wink. Makes it sound like he wants to make him a human sacrifice as well, which... my question is, like, how different is Bradley because he's a homunculus who can age? Like, because everyone is the embodiment of a sin, but despite being Wrath, being able to grow old, having a wife and kid, like, does that change who he is as homunculus? Do like other emotions pierce this one identity as Wrath? I don't know. Even if it doesn't, like, does it mean that he's changed somehow? There's like so many questions I have, and I'm very curious to find out more. And it's actually very interesting because the title of Fuhrer is most closely associated in real life with Hitler. So I was a little suspicious at first that the government wasn't what it seemed like it was, but also Roy seems like a perfectly upstanding man and he wants to be Fuhrer, so yeah. So Hughes was killed definitely by Bradley, or he tipped off lust and envy. There's so much going on in this episode, and I feel like, yeah, this show is just getting started. We're on episode 14, and so we're not even a fourth of the way there, and there just have been so many twists twists and turns already. I just read a comment saying that this show is actually, like, some people refer to this show affectionately as Feels Metal Alchemist. Not too many feels this time, but a lot of big twists and reveals. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching more. I'm going to take a quick break, 1 week break. So there will not be an episode next week, but there will be the week after that. And yeah, if you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. That 1 week break is just to let me catch up a bit with everything else and let this whole first part sink in. First part plus 1 episode sink in. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.